Hey everybody, welcome to another Tuesday night chat. It's been about a month since I'm doing them just every 2 weeks, and I skipped 1 week. It kind of put me a while before I showed back up. But we're here, and I got a Bald and Curious here. Maybe some other people will show up once I get going. Anyhow, I'll let Bald, if he wants to do an intro, go right ahead.
No intro. What's new in the world? How about the Russians and Clown Network News doing?
Yes, the Russian collusion thing, and I don't know if you've been kind of paying attention, but the CNN and all that, they're still going on about it. Like, oh, well, it wasn't complete, and it didn't totally exonerate him, and there's still stuff that needs to be dug into. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, $25 million and what was it, 50 lawyers and almost 3,000 subpoenas. And it's like, if there was anything to find, they would have found it.
It's ridiculous. And I love the fact when they like that, what's that donkey looking girl, the Cortez, Octavia Cortez, when she's like, oh, Trump needs to release his taxes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? You release your damn taxes. How did you get into Congress? How did you get from freaking serving drunks at the bar into being youngest congresswoman and you're dumb as a box of rocks?
Yeah.
Not even that pretty either.
Yeah, she, well, I don't know if you've heard the background on how she got elected. She was basically, there's a group called the Justice Democrats or Justice League or some shit. I don't know, for Justice something, young Democrat something. Anyway, they, I can't say it entirely all of it, but that guy from the Young Turks had to do with forming it and funding it. I don't know who else. And they set out what they called a casting call for young liberal millennials or whatever that's radical, wants to change the world or whatever. I don't know how they worded it. And that occasionally Cortex brother sent in her name. So she kind of like won the part of playing a Congress or representative. Yeah, and so once they picked out their people, they poured all this money. They're looks like they've done a bunch of illegal shit with the how they done their campaigning, because they spent too much. They broke the law, so that's under investigation right now. But anyway, yeah, it's not like she had the desire to run and had this grassroots campaign. No, she got picked, and they got like 4 or 5 people elected. Some of them just might have been on the state level or whatever, But
yeah, but somebody's pulling her strings. She's not coming with that bullshit on her own. It's ridiculous. It's it's the same thing with the fucking Hillary. 2 years down the road, and she still didn't give up. She's still like, just go away, Nobody wants your ass. Okay, Russian collusion. It's you selling freaking uranium to Russia. Like, how the hell you're not in jail for that shit?
Yeah,
it makes my blood boil, and all that bullshit with transgenders and boys being girls, girls being boys, and that crap is not just here; it's all over the world. I'm getting Facebook messages from old country, from Europe, and that crap is all over there as well. Like, really, come on, people, just everybody's going nuts. I mean, nothing against transgenders and all that, but percentage-wise, how many of them is there in the world? Does it really freaking matter?
Warsaw.
Hey, what's up?
I'm all for the freaking. Oh, you want to be gay? Fine, but don't shove it down my throat.
Yeah, agreed.
That's all. I'm not shoving me being straight down your throat. So just do whatever the hell you want.
Do whatever you want. That's fine.
I don't care what you do.
Yeah, even though they have a right, they don't have to bother us.
Exactly. Meantime, you got all this crap. We got gay parade in New York and this and that. Gay pride. And where's our pride? Where's the straight pride? Where's the white pride? All we get is the white privilege.
Yeah, just like Justin Samart, or however you say his name. Yeah, it's well, you know, Graham and some others, they're talking about going after Hillary, but they may get some lower level people if they do it hard enough, but she got too much connections. They'll never get to her.
Well, she's hiding something for sure, though.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is, if they go after her, they would literally have to go after the whole goddamn Congress and God knows who else. So that's the only reason he's not going after her. I mean, you guys ever watched Designated Survivor?
Mm-mm.
You should watch it on that. It's a whole series. So basically, whenever you got the whole government together, like when the president gives what is it called? A State of Union, right? So you pretty much got the whole government. You got one person of his cabinet that's not there, and he's in the safe location in case somebody blows up the Capitol building and kills the whole government. So basically, the whole movie is about that. There's one guy left, and the whole government is being rebuilt. And basically, there's like a patriots behind that. They got tired of all that BS. I mean, later on, it kind of went to shit, but the actual idea, although, you know, not that I'm supporting this kind of crap, but, you know, actual idea that's behind it is like, yeah, you know what? Something needs to change.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand this shit because it's happening slowly, but I grew up in that fucking socialist crap. I spent half my life in there. I came here, I was 20 years old. I'm 45 now. In the 25 years, I can literally see the country going down to hell towards the socialist bullshit. And that socialist bullshit doesn't work. It's been proven over and over and over. It doesn't work. Free market is the only thing that's going to work because people are too greedy. It's just in human nature.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's three things: money, pride, and power. And all of them can actually sentence you to death.
Yeah. And with the power, I've kind of talked about it before. You know, because there's a saying, it's supposed to be kind of a quote from the Bible or paraphrase from the Bible: money is the root of all evil. I think power, or the lust for power, is the root of all evil. Money is just a means to get there.
Well, it's how you use the money. You could either use it for a good cause or use it for something that's going to lead to destruction.
Well, that's why I say money in itself isn't evil, but people that want power, you know, and they use that money to gain power. That's where I see the correlation there. That's just my take on it.
Well, it was always people wanting power in the history. I mean, start from back when, you know, it was always the big guys wanting more and more and more and more power. And, you know, nowadays it's just, I don't know, everything's just turning so weird. So like if you're middle class, they just want to push you, stomp you to the ground as much as possible. You know, they're like, you know, I mean, now with the Trump and all that, things are looking up. I mean, I can see it on me as a contractor, how things picked up in the last 2 years. I mean, new construction's booming up here in New York. I mean, nobody built a house around here in freaking 8 years. All of a sudden, everything I build, it just sells right away. You know, I got people willing to invest to build houses and whatnot. So,
yeah.
But back to the power subject. You know, when people are becoming dictators, there was an example in Europe. I remember, what was it in Romania? There was a leader named by the name of Ceausescu, and then that's when the people in the military actually took power and actually removed his ass by force and actually sentenced him to be executed.
He was ruthless, son of a bitch, because we used to go. I grew up in Czechoslovakia, and we are landlocked. So if we wanted to go to the ocean, you know, see whatever, we had to go to like Bulgaria, Romania, or former Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was really hard to get to because a lot of people just defected from there. So Bulgaria, Romania was like the best bet. And we used to go to Romania a lot because it was cheap for us to go there. And if you like start busting people's balls and talk about Ceausescu, everybody's like this and looking around, like don't even. It was like, you know, don't even bring up his name.
He was basically kind of like Stalin of Romania, basically, right?
Yep. and he lived a good life over there. We accidentally, first time we drove to a campsite, I don't know, we wind up in somehow in the mountain, and we drove by his like this eagle nest, big ass, like a palace building, whatever the heck, that he spent summers in or whatnot. Like he was definitely living a good life. That's why when they took over the country, I don't think there was even a trial. They just freaking hung his ass as soon as they could.
Well, he just shot him to death.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, he just literally just shot him with full auto AKs and just said, you know what, we're just going to execute these people.
Yeah, well, young people are indoctrinated into thinking that socialism and communism and all that is a fair and the best way to do things because they don't know shit from a hole in the ground. I mean, they just don't know, and they're fucking bombarded with it their entire life. I mean, from kindergarten on up, the teachers are liberal. That's what they're teaching. That's the agenda. They get to college, and then it's 10 times as worse, and they just thrive on it. It's not that they even really study it, because I've seen all kind of little interviews in college and stuff. They really can't tell you anything about it except it's fair. It's for everybody. Yeah, until the rich people go broke. Go look at Venezuela. Yeah, they worked for a little while until everybody was at the same level, poor.
Yep.
But they still rich people in Venezuela.
I'll be rich
in the government,
It's kind of the same concept that's going on in Ukraine. They're trying to bring back that country back in order.
I'm scared of the whole liberal nonsense because my oldest going to college next year, and I pray to God that I did a good job raising him. I'm trying. The kid's working his ass off, paying for his car. And you know what? On the one hand, I kind of feel bad because, like, if he's not in school, he's working. He doesn't really have that many days off and whatnot. On the other hand, at least he appreciates this shit. He doesn't just go and blows money away. Because he sees it's not that simple to to obtain it. And the same thing with the college. We're going over the colleges. He got accepted to every college he put the application in. So it boils down to money. So and he realizes that. So
well, it's good that he's got a job and stuff. I say, I can't say for sure, but I mean, from what I see, most kids seem to think that the parents are supposed to provide for everything, and they don't want to work for a living. And I mean, hell, I never even thought about not working. My dad had all kind of his own businesses. He's a paint contractor, real estate agent. You name it, he done it. We sold satellites for the dishes for a while when they were the real big ones, And so he always had me helping him, even as a young teenager or even younger than that. I was cleaning paint brushes or something. I was always working with them, summertime or weekends or whatever. And I never thought twice about it. As soon as I think I could work at 15 if my parents signed. I forget how that worked out, but I started, I was a bag boy at 15. I know it's 16, but I think it was 15. Collected my own little paycheck. It wasn't much. Damn, minimum wage was like $3.25 or $3.50, but it's a lot more money in the 80s.
Yeah, it was different with me because there was no option back then to work. The only time I could work was over the summer break. So I would always like go to farm or something, and for a month I would work. And I would usually make enough pocket money for the whole year just for my bullshit. I mean, my kid, it's not like he makes ton of money and does whatever. I mean, basically all he does is pays for the car. First he tried to figure out how much money he needs to make a payment, insurance, gas. And when I told him that insurance just for him is $2,500 a year, and he could figure out real fast he's not gonna be able to do it. So I told him, look, all you have to do is come up with $300 a month for a car payment. I'll take care of the rest. And you can keep the rest. Just don't piss it away. Just save some money so you have a little bit. By the way, I gotta give a shout out to Midas, making champagne of years.
There you go, Midas. Champagne and beers, buddy.
There you
I
go.
got one too.
Yeah, I only bought one. Then I'm gonna go to something stronger. Big Bobby, I'll sell my semen and blood for my gun hobby.
Damn.
I wonder how Fuss gonna like. He was talking about those hollow point mold that he got. I was watching. I was actually looking into it at some point. It kind of pain in the ass because it's like a two-step process, you know. But you can make some nice bullets out of that crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen them. It's kind. Yeah, it's like I never tried to cast a hollow point, so I'm not entirely sure how that works. But yeah, it's got to be a two-step process. I did read into it a lot, and if you wanted to get fancy, it'd be kind of hard to regulate it to be consistent. But you could pour a little bit of soft lead into front, or however it is. I don't know if it's upside. I don't know which way you fill it first, but anyway, you could stage it in different, like hard cast and soft cast together. You can do it real quick so they meld together and kind of make some good expanding bullets. But like I said, I looked into it, but I just cast bullets for damn target ammo, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty much, you know, when I do it, but it's like over here it's harder and harder to find the lead. So I just, you know, whenever I get some, or let's say I'm too slow at work or something, and I have a lead that I cast. Other than that, you know, with the Acmes, it's not even worth it, because if you spend the time you spend behind it, it's a hobby. That's it. It's just, if you look at it body wise, then if I go and spend those hours working, I can go and buy a freaking regular hollow points.
Yeah, I hadn't cast any bullets in a couple of years now. I got I got probably thousands of cast bullets already just sitting back, and I'm just kind of hanging on to them for a rainy day or next shortage or whatever. And 223, I don't reload at all right now.
But it's not even worth it. We're living. I mean, even basic 9mm, your basic blinking rounds. You can pick that shit so cheap right now that, you know, the only reason I reload is for the custom ammo. Custom ammo for the 40, custom loads for my 9. Other than that, you can at Walmart you can pick up Remingtons now for freaking $7 or whatever a box. It just, you know, I just bought a bunch of 223s as well. Had them shipped to Pennsylvania to my sister, because in this fucking great state we can't receive nothing like that.
Yeah, that I mean, yeah, even buying a plated bullet or a full metal jacket, it's still cheaper to reload, like say 9mm. But I mean, if you catch it on sale, especially if you got a progressive press where you can really pump them out, you know, it's justifiable. But like his last 9mm I bought, the last 9s I bought was those little buckets. I bought 1,000 rounds, or 1,000 and whatever it turned out to be. And I want to say there was 17 or 18 cents a round or something. It might have been less than that. It wasn't much. It was just like, holy shit. Hey, sign me up. Shipped to my door for free.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. If it's just a plinking rounds, like when you get into competition ammo, then it's a little different story, because especially in the 40, and if you got to load it to a certain length and whatnot, then it gets really expensive, because that's not something you go and buy at Walmart. So you gotta go to different sites, and at that point, you know, you're paying premium, especially if you already have the press. You know, like my press paid for itself a couple of times over already. So.
Oh yeah, mine has too. There's no doubt. Well, I know my little Square Deal B.
Square Deal B, you can't, for the money. If you only reload pistols, you can't beat that press. If they ever figure out how to make a case feeder for it, that'll be the best budget press ever. Even without the case feeder, it's still fast. It works good. I'm gonna go and say it's better than 550 for a pistol rounds. And the thing is tiny. The only downside is you gotta use a proprietary dies and all that. But other than that, that thing is awesome. I used to have one, sold it when I got 650.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, compared to the 550, I would say if you're only doing pistol and you know you're only going to do pistol, and maybe if you do rifle, you're just doing precision rifle, so you're probably using a single stage anyway. Yeah, the square deal B, that's a deal. I mean, if you start weighing it out, you know, like I say, if you're going to do rifle, okay, you got to step up at least 550, if not 650. But that if just for pistols, and I only got 2 sets of dies. I got 2 tool heads. I got 9mm and 45. The only 9mm I've ever loaded up in my life has been on that square deal B. I bought it with 9mm dies, and that's the only press I ever have loaded 9mm. And that son of a bitch, I don't know how many tens of thousands of rounds it's loaded because I bought it in the, I don't know, late 90s. Son of a bitch has got a lot of miles on it.
I rescued mine, the pistol club I belonged to, way before I joined. Old member passed away, and he donated like a reloading equipment to the club. And basically, it was a bunch of shit sitting in the bin. Nobody knew what's in there, and it's been sitting there for years. Finally, one day I go through it, and I see blue press. I'm like, Dylan, this is gonna be good. So I was like, can I have this? Yeah, take it. I took the thing home, cleaned it up. I think I had to order like 1 part. And the shit was working. I was loading bullets. It was set up for 9mm. Then I bought a couple of conversion kits. And you know what? I'm a cheap bastard. I'm like, I'll be scavenging the eBay and like a reloading forums, any gun forums, you know, because people always sell shit over there. You always save a couple of bucks here and there. And all this stuff, especially these small presses, they have a lifetime warranty. You send them to a Dylan for $70, they'll overhaul the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah, I'm sold on the blue press. I know I would say probably from what I've seen people mess with, if you're going to buy a progressive press, it's just my personal opinion from what I've seen and heard, it's either the Hornady or the Dillon. Just from what I've seen, I think those are only two that's really. I think those are the two that's in competition. Buddy of mine's got a progressive adapter that goes on top of a rock crusher press, but he says it's hit or miss on the powder drop and different things, which is a add-on horse shit thing he come across like used or something. But even I mean, because he's the reason that my little square deal B's got so many miles on it, because he's been borrowing it for years. He'll borrow it for a few weeks and just load up every fucking component he's got. And then when he gets done, he'll give it back to me.
Hey, smart man.
Hey, Rick, what's up?
How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Let me see if I can
How
turn
was your boring ride?
What's that, brother?
How was your airplane ride?
It sucked ass.
Yeah. Well, you got there, right? So that's what counts.
That's a plus, yeah. I'll be I'm trying to hook it up so I can watch what you guys are the external chat here. I'm in my uniform and I'm too lazy to take it off, so you have to see the six tonight.
Put a freaking duct tape over it.
Yeah, what's the difference? Oh yeah, my stuff. I might in a minute. That 365, man, I'm loving that thing.
I told you from day one, mine's had some miles on it, no issues whatsoever. It's a great gun.
Yeah, I'm seriously loving it, especially with the 12 plus 1 mag. Bonus.
Okay, TR, maybe you know this. Michael Scenes.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about turning brass, turning it on a lathe. I have no idea what he's talking about. I mean, you don't turn brass. I mean, you resize it. I mean, there is a contraption called roll sizer, and what it is, it's two steel plates, and when a brass drops, it does this, and that's how it sizes the brass. You know, so when you hook it up to a Dillon case feeder and it just roll size the brass, it's supposed to be the best way to size the brass because it does the whole case, top to bottom, rim, everything. But I never really done it. I just read about it.
I have seen where I've seen them like neck cartridges put on a lathe, and they're basically taking thousands off the wall to make it more. I don't know what the right word would be. Not centrifugal, like more pure, more. What the hell would the right word be? Basically, trying to
You're making
take imperfections out of it.
You're talking about making the brass from the scratch. I think that would be too expensive to make on the lathe.
Yeah,
that's the way it's done. You better off if you want like a virgin brass. You're probably better off buying it.
yeah. Concentric area WTF SoCal Calvin's out there. That's what I was about to say. I've seen that for real precision rifle rounds where they'll turn it just a little bit to make sure the concentricity is right, which is the thickness of the brass itself, making sure it's consistent.
Yeah, I'm not sure for our style shooting we need that shit.
No.
So,
I shoot Russian shit in my AR-15. I buy fucking Tula ammo. That shit runs flawless.
I see Warsaw Patriots on the panel. Is he really there?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rick.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. So, TR, the stuff you use, is that steel cased?
Yes.
I've been hearing, hey, this is a rumor, but I've heard steel case actually jams more often than brass in ARs. Is that correct?
I have not found that to be true for me, and that's shooting it in 3 or 4 different ARs. It's possible. I wouldn't say it would be my self-defense ammunition, just in case. It does shoot dirtier. Actually, and I seen this video, it's been several years ago. I want to say it was Salty Shellback, if anybody knows him. He had a hardness tester, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been another channel, and he went through and measured like brass and steel cased ammo and maybe aluminum. The steel case was actually the softest metal. It was softer than the brass.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe.
Well, it's really, really soft metal. It's not like it's hardened steel.
From what I read and saw is when you start doing mag dumps and stuff like that, and the chamber and everything gets hot, then the actual the lacquer coating or whatever that is on the case that makes it a little slide in and out, that starts melt and sticks in the chamber, and that's when you start having issues supposedly.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Everything I read, and that makes sense. I've actually had somebody had that happen when they was using shellac cased ammo. I think it's worse. I think that's why they went to the polymer coating, which I could see it doing the same thing, but maybe not as bad as shellac. But the main thing I heard is if you're shooting the shellac ammo, like brown bear or something like that, or wolf, some of it's still shellac, is when you're shooting, don't stop and leave one in a chamber and like set the rifle to the side or something. Because as it cools, like I said, then that shit hardens up, and then it just rips the damn rim off of it trying to extract it.
Yeah, look at it this way. All the milsurp ammo is steel cased. When I was in the Army, that's all we used, steel case. Russian AKs, VZ58s, all steel case ammo. I mean, yes, the AR is a little more tight, the chamber and all that, but I don't know. I shot. I'm not gonna say I shot a ton of it, but I shot steel case in my AR as well. Never had an issue.
Yeah. I mean, I did that one or a couple of videos actually where I was just proving that you could shoot steel case in an AR. Well, not that I needed to, but I just wanted to. I went through, and it was only 300 rounds. I was going to do 600, but I had my damn fingers so damn sore I couldn't do anymore. But
I remember that video.
Yeah, I had a 5-gallon bucket of water, and I was just dumping mags as fast as I could. I mean, I'd have to use my middle finger because this finger just actually quit working. and it got so damn hot. I was having cook-offs. It was cooking off and going full auto on me. So I just dumped the barrel in the water, pull it out, stick another mag in it, and just keep going.
Oh, how many comments you got that you warped the barrel and whatnot?
A million, it seems like. I think I still get comments of, "Oh, you'll warp the barrel," and I'm like, "No, the hell you won't."
You should
must have cooked it.
You should have told them about the old Maxim freaking machine gun.
Yeah.
You know, the old movies, the little Maxim. That shit had a water tank open barrel to keep it cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you know, and before that, I actually got into knife making a little bit. I made a couple of knives, so I had to study metallurgy and hardening and softening of metal and all that, and read all into that. You don't change the temper of steel until you get that son of a bitch cherry red. You get it cherry red, then you can either soften it or harden it. If you get it cherry red and you let it cool down slow, it'll soften it. You get it cherry red, you dump it in oil or water, it'll harden it. But until it gets cherry freaking red, you ain't done shit. Just because it's hot and it'll burn your hand, it can be hot enough to catch your handguard on fire. It still ain't cherry fucking red.
Yeah, it's what they call the quenching.
Yeah.
They have the stuff on the TV where they make the little competition where they make knives. I watched it sometimes, and that's what they do. They get it all hot and they quench it in the oil, and you can only do it once. If you gotta re-quench it, then you might wind up with something that's brittle.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, all guys want to get it hot and then quench it, right?
Hey, look, Red October's here. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's called, Forge and Fire or something like that. That show.
Yeah. It's a good show.
It's a good show. I liked it.
The crazy part is how they can make something so fast.
No, I like the part when they actually go home and they gotta make like some crazy weapon at home. That's like, you know, challenging stuff. And you see like the guys have this homemade forges and whatnot, how creative they get. Some of that stuff is neat.
Yeah, I did a simple one. I just got fire bricks and made a little box and used a hand torch with MAP gas. It gets hotter than propane, and it took a little while probably, but it worked. I got it cherry red.
Now, is there a difference when you quench it with water versus oil?
Yeah, oil get it harder. If you quench it in water, it'll harden it, but not as much as oil. I guess because the oil impregnates it some.
Hey, oil always makes everything harder.
Yeah. I only made two, so, but it was interesting. It was an interesting process. Making two knives, it taught me enough to know I didn't want to make any more. This is way too much damn work.
Well, just watching them on the TV, I know I don't want to do that.
Now, I did do really cool because I only seen like one or two people on YouTube did it because I wanted to make more micarta, you know, handles for it. Whatever, what they call it, something else. But anyway, so I did a wrap on one of them, and it turned out really good. Instead of making the blocks and cutting it down and all that, I put my pins in it, and I took the cloth and I just wrapped it around it. You know, put it in the resin and wrapped it around it, and then sanded it all down. That turned out cool as hell.
It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I got a lot of views on that video still. Because nobody was doing it, and I like seen one guy do it, and I was like, "Fuck, that's the way to do it. That's a whole lot easier." I can't show it to you, Red, because I gave it away on YouTube.
I've been watching those videos with all the gel cooked stuff that they do inside like the branches and trees and shit. And it's like epoxy. That's what it is. It's like epoxy gel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be colored, and they'll like fill a piece of wood with it.
Oh yeah, like tabletops and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that stuff looks badass.
Matter of fact,
yeah,
hey, you don't say. I don't even know if he still makes videos or not. But there's a guy on YouTube, Glocker Bob. He's the one that won it. I gave it away on a chat one night. It was on somebody else's chat.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I got a story about that. I know I've told it, but in case anybody didn't hear it, I was in Walmart buying, because when you make micarta, like if you want kind of like greens and yellows and stuff like that in it, you got to get really, really bright fabric because it tones it down. It's not as bright as it, you know what I mean? You can't just say, oh, I like this color green, that's what I want it to be. Well, you need to go like twice as bright for it to turn out. So I was in Walmart and I was gathering up all this cloth. I had like hot pink and red and green and yellow and all this stuff. And I run into Southern Prepper. I was like, boy, this mate don't look right.
I got my pink shit over here.
Southern Prepper 1, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen him much on YouTube anymore.
Nah, he don't do much on YouTube anymore.
Didn't he have some problems, health issues?
You know, I don't know. I hadn't talked to him in a long time.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Didn't he do the video or something? He had something, some cancer or some shit like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I would assume that's not the same guy, but I'm not sure either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully not.
He put out some videos here a while back. He kind of got where he's putting out one every month or so, but I hadn't seen anything from him in a long time. He's been prepping forever. I think he probably got burned out on it too. Or he's got so much shit, there ain't no more to do. I won't say I'm at that point, but after a while, it's like, I got all this shit. I'm kind of like done right now.
Yeah, the last videos I've seen of his, he bought that new property and was building some cool shit.
Yep.
But I don't know where he's at now.
Well, you pretty much done prepping. I mean, shit hits the fan, you just drive to farm. For you, it's a couple hours, you're done. And it's only you, so.
Yeah.
Well, you and Sonia, so I'm sure Pops will let you.
I hope she ain't watching this. I'm gonna start stocking her place up. Her place is actually gonna be my bug out location because it's far enough out and got water and fish and blah blah blah.
I was gonna say you got all those fish.
Do what?
You got all them fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on Patreon. Southern Prepper 1. Daniel got his judge says he's on Patreon. Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.
That makes sense. Yeah,
that's how they should actually pronounce it, is Patreon. What's up, Warsaw?
Not much. I'm actually just coming up with some ideas for future wood engravings. I do a lot of engraving on some wood projects. And I'm actually thinking about doing one.
Stuff?
Scroll saw?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Gotcha.
But what I'm thinking about doing for the next project I might do for a video is I might make a sign dedicated to the Black Rifle Coffee Company. Just in support of our veterans and all that. And here's the thing: I'm not even accepting a dime from the company. I'm doing this just for honor and respect for our veterans.
It's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I got some of that right now. Actually, Sonia bought me a box of those little Keurig, well, however you pronounce it, those little cups.
Keurig?
It's strong. You better like coffee if you buy any of their damn coffee.
You ever tried that coffee before?
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying. I got some right now, the little K cups or whatever you want to call them.
You can get a little plastic one that's reusable. That's what I do. Those are expensive. Yeah, it's like a filter, yeah. And then you just stick it. Because I'm a Dunkin' Donuts guy.
I'm a Dunkin' Donuts guy. I like that, bro. I'm a Dunkin' Donuts guy.
You're an asshole. That's what you are.
That's a freaking bumper sticker. I'm a Dunkin' Donuts guy.
Hey, get back to guns for a second. Tool Monkey bought him a 365, and he wanted to look at that holster I got for my shield. And anyway, so we was out in the parking lot, and he brought that thing out, and I got my shield out. That 365 is tiny. My shield makes it look tiny. I mean, it makes my shield look big. I was like,
Hey,
holy
Roger.
shit.
Roger, write this down. Do you have a pen?
Yeah, what you got?
Write down Garrett Industries.
Hang on, let me get something right on. Say it again now.
Garrett, Garrett Industries. There's a holster that you're going to like a lot. It's what I'm running the 365 in. It was for the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't bought one for the 365 yet. And that is probably the holster you'll never change.
Is it you said Garrutt or
ETT?
ETT. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the only reason why I say that is it's a hybrid holster, so it's leather
Mm-hmm.
and it's wrapped. You know that neoprene, like a wetsuit material?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two layers. The layer that goes against you is leather, then the neoprene, then leather with a Kydex holster, but it's a leather wrapped Kydex. So you just go look at it. I did a video, but it was a long time ago. It's called 5 Stars,
Mm-hmm.
best 5-star holster or something. And
I don't know. I'm looking at
it's a little
right
pricey. It's a little pricey, but you'll probably never find a more comfortable holster.
Yeah, I got a hybrid type holster I bought for my HKP7, and yeah, they look like they'd be uncomfortable, but they're actually very comfortable.
No, this is different kind of hybrid. This thing looks like a regular Kydex holster. It's just the way it's produced. But I mean, from the look of it, it looks like just another Kydex holster.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's called. I think it's called like the Solo. It's been so long. I've owned it for probably 6 years. Solo 1 or something. It's a single clip. Let me see if I can find it.
I think if you, as long as you wear undershirt, then who cares if it's against your body? That's all. You know, just don't wear the gun against the naked body because you're sweating and whatnot.
Well, this is what I got. Bianchi, whatever.
Bianchi.
Yeah, but man, that thing is slim. I got it unloaded, but you know, you see how slim that is. What compared to this lip here, especially. Now this one's double line, but so far I really like it. And I got it from Midway. It was about $50 basically, but so far I like it. But I'm not saying it ain't a better holster, but the first one I bought, I just grabbed something on Amazon so I could carry it. And I got this thick son of a bitch. I was like, hell, I might as well carry my fucking Glock. Yeah, that fucking leather is thick as shit.
What is it, Uncle Mike's? No, I like Harry's holster. That's not because he sent it for free, because everyone I got, I actually paid for. But somehow 2 days later, that guy sends it and refunds me the money.
Oh, I like Gary's holster too. I know Roger's a big leather guy.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I've never worn a Kydex inside the waistband, and all I've had is leather. And if I get a leather holster that's made well, and I don't mind paying. I mean, I got one. I think my Galco I might have paid $70 or $80 for my Glock. But
I don't even see the holster I have. I don't even know if they sell it anymore.
But just getting back to the Shield and the 365, that 365 is tiny as fuck.
And it holds 13 rounds.
No shit.
It's the baddest ass fucking.
Yeah, like I said, Tool Monkey's got one, and he ordered one mag, the 12-round mag, because he's a big guy. Well, you've met him, and like I can hold it, and my hand fits on the grip, and that little pinky extension is enough for me, but it's not for him. So he got at least one 12-round. But I was just surprised. I mean, me and him both, we were like, I didn't realize it was that much. I didn't know there was that big a size difference between a Shield and a 365, but that I ain't kidding. I mean, even with the mag out, this thing is still longer than a damn 365. It's like, holy shit! You sure that ain't a 380?
It's a whole lot of madness in one little package.
And it's not just the size. It's just the way it handles and the way it feels. Like X-Ring said, I kept saying the same thing over and over. Nobody believed me. That thing does not shoot like a small gun. It doesn't feel like a small gun. You shoot that thing, it feels like you have a compact or full-size gun. It doesn't feel like a subcompact.
It's true.
It shoots awesome. It shoots better than Glock, that's for sure.
Yes.
I don't even know why I bought that 48.
Because you wanted the new.
That 43's got some stiff competition. Because hell, it only holds 6 rounds, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm moving on to the 365. I got 13 rounds in a smaller package.
Yeah.
And I shoot it better, way better. The trigger's way better. The sights are way better. It blows it out of the water in every way possible.
Yeah, like I said, Tool Monkey, he got a pretty good deal on there. We bought a couple of guns. He was looking for a 22 pistol to play around with. And the little gun shop he goes to, he just happened to have a 365 there, and he got to messing with, and the guy cut him a deal. And it's got a front night sight. I don't think the rear are, just the front's a night sight. And I think he only paid like $400 for it. It was a pretty good deal.
$400?
Yeah.
That's an awesome deal. Is it a new one or is it used?
It's new.
Holy crap.
$525 and got a deal.
I know. That's why I didn't buy one. But he bought 2 guns at one time, so I can't say which one. He might have just, but he buys a lot of guns from that guy. That guy cut him a deal. He bought a bunch of ammo and blah, blah, blah,
He was thinking he was talking to his wife when he told you the cost on that thing.
I think he buys like all his guns from that guy. So that guy knows him and cuts him a deal and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, well, I buy all the guns from my guy, and he rips me off every time. For some reason, I keep going back.
This guy's got a gun shop. He actually has a howitzer out front.
Nice. Can't beat that.
One of the places you walk in and it's just gun shit, holsters, and just shit everywhere, piled on top of each other and stuff.
Yeah, that's like this other gun store that I go sometimes. It's like a little hole in the wall, and you walk in, like, holy crap! Look at all these guns, and everything's like a lot of times you can't find shit. You just gotta tell the guy, and he's like, "Oh, okay, right there, this pile." Starts digging. Here it is,
Yeah, he bought his SIG 1911 with suppressor ready from that guy, and it was like he was looking at some guns, and I don't know what he asked him, and the guy's like, "Hang on, let me go in the back," and comes out with a damn brand new SIG fucking 1911 with suppressor sights and barrel and all that on it. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't want to keep this out because not many people really want this, but I got other stuff back there too,
Hey, there's Tool Monkey. He says it's a nice shop.
I hadn't been in it. I've been by it. I know where it's at, but buy in bulk.
Red October's asking me a really dumb question right now.
Well, it deserves a dumb answer.
That's true.
But so far, I'm still liking the Shield. I hadn't shot it a whole lot, but
that's a great gun. You're gonna like that one.
Yeah, I like it so far. Well, me and Tool Monkey was talking about. I mean, it definitely it kills your excuse not to carry a gun. I'm not saying I won't carry the Glock sometimes or whatever, but man, this thing's just so easy to carry. And I got some 10-round or 2-round mag extensions. I'll see how they feel. So they give me 11 rounds.
8+1 now, right? 8+1 now?
Yeah, that's 8+1 in it right now. Yeah, that makes it New York legal. Yeah, I've been to that shop, right? And I was looking for a AR lower in the 9mm. They actually had one. And then I start talking to the guy like how to build it so he's very compliant. And then he tells me like if I put a pistol brace on it, a forward grip, and make the whole thing 26.5 inches, then it's not a rifle, not a pistol, not a shotgun. It's the other, and it's not specified in a SAFE Act, which means it's not an assault weapon. I'm like, that's all cool, but I would have to like print that shit out and have it on me because I guarantee if I get pulled over and I had that in the trunk and the cop would see it, he's gonna fucking arrest me. End of story. He's gonna fucking arrest me because the cop won't fucking know what it is.
Yeah,
that's usually what happens.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you gotta grow a set of balls a little bit, and if you get arrested, okay, so what? As long as you know you're right, what the fuck? What's gonna happen? They're gonna let you go, and it's gonna set a precedence for the other shit.
Well, the tough part is like if you use California as an example, is one year it's fine, and then the next year it's not. So you got to really stay up on your shit.
Well, that's another thing. Like, you build it like that, it's all good and whatnot, and you get arrested, they'll let you go, and 6 months later, they'll amend the fucking law and says, oh, okay, this shit's fucking excluded too.
Yeah. I mean, because just in the past 5 years, how many laws have changed in California?
Well, they didn't change nothing really in New York after the SAFE Act. They didn't, at least not for the worst. It went for the better to 10 rounds. That's like they challenging some shit too, and it kind of grinds my gears because we just had a club meeting and they got these rules, right? Oh, you have to be NRA member in order to be a club member. So my NRA expired. To renew it was $100, but if I let it expire and sign up as a new member, it's only $75. Okay, so and at the meeting they said, well, now they're gonna make it so you have to be a member of New York NRA as well. I'm like, you know what? How about just making it you have to be a member of some pro Second Amendment? How about just be a member of Gun Owners America? Somebody actually does something for us. Not the NRA just fucking collects the money.
Damn right.
And sends the cheap fucking knives.
I agree with you on that, Bald. The NRA are not our friends anymore in my book, dude. They've been backstabbing us. They've been fucking us over. Enough's enough.
Well, on the other hand, I don't think this is the time that we should like turn the backs. Like, if you're an NRA member, so be it, but be a member of GOA as well. It's kind of pissing me off that the club is ran by the old dudes, and basically they don't know anything else but NRA. So I brought it up like, you know what? There's different organizations that actually do something. So how about if you're gonna make me be a member of that, then at least let me choose a secondary one. So at least do it that way. I mean, we're so screwed up right now as gun owners that we should support every pro-gun organization, no matter how it is. Definitely, I'm definitely not throwing NRA any more money than I absolutely have to just to stay member because of that club. But I'll throw a GOA extra $20, $30, whatever, because hopefully they'll do something for us in New York as well.
Mm-hmm. The problem I have with the NRA, though, is just, like, I have nothing against anybody supporting them. Don't get me wrong. It's just that when you're supporting money to a business that is screwing you over and they're selling out your rights, there's got to be some line where we got to tell them enough's enough, and you got to be telling them what they're got to be doing. Well,
that's true, but until we have somebody at least semi-strong as them, we can't really just kick them to the curb. But you're absolutely right. I mean, NRA is not what it used to be. It turned into business. That's all it is. It's a business.
I kind of agree with you, Bald. It's just, they're definitely not the best gun organization, and yes, they have kind of screwed us over on some stuff. They don't stand up for as much as they should. But I go ahead and I'm a member of NRA and the GOA, just because they do carry a lot of clout. So if something's bad enough, it's really amazing how much clout they carry for as few members they have. They only got like 5 million members.
Well, and go one step further, guys. Okay, so we're putting this money out to protect our gun rights, but are you putting that same amount of money out to protect your own legal rights when you need them? for, say, lawsuits. Say you're in the right. Say you did a good shoot, and you still got a civil. I'm not an attorney, but I don't know all the words and shit. But you're still gonna have that family suing your ass.
I have the insurance for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I do too as well. So think about that as well.
What was that other group? USCCA. They actually have lawyers that actually protect you against any situation involves to the law. You know, if you accidentally did something wrong or something like that.
That's what I have. Best $35 a month you can spend.
Yeah, I have USCCA as well.
I went for the platinum badge for all that. I'm not even for that kind of money. It's not worth it.
There's Law Shield. Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be important though when you can't figure out how to get the money and your wife's got to pay the bills and you're stuck in jail and all that other bullshit.
Yeah, that's why. Hopefully, we'll never have to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
But you never know. Whole reason. Hey, you ever heard of what happened to the? That guy that shot that black guy that shoved him to the ground?
What? Say it again.
Where was this?
Florida?
Yeah, in Florida. Yeah, there was they released him originally, then they charged him, but I haven't heard nothing since.
Yvonne Trey or whatever the hell.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, when he parked at the handicap spot, they went inside and guy came and he was bitching at his wife.
Oh, that one.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
He kind of died down after everybody was protesting, so they finally arrested the guy, charged him, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't heard shit after that actually.
Curious.
He moved up back onto Russian collusion.
Yeah, probably.
Lost steam.
We're never going to find out what actually did happen that year. It's been going on both sides, and it's so much misinformation about what actually did happen with Trump and all that.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Hell, they still talk. Well, we don't know for sure. There's still other stuff that needs to be investigated. It's like, Jesus Christ, give it a fucking break.
No shit. You had 2 years, you dumb fucks.
Yeah. I mean, you spent $25 million of our money, 2 years, fucking fleet of lawyers, and just on and on and on. And they didn't like Trump. All the ones investigating them were more on the Democratic side, didn't like Trump. And even they couldn't find nothing.
Yeah, if anybody was going to find anything, it would have been them.
Yeah.
One thing I can't stand at one bit is Nancy Pelosi all open for open borders. But the problem is that I remember back in 2016, I found this video. This woman was actually explaining what happened to her son when that was murdered by an illegal. And she was telling her what actually happened. And her child was actually burned alive. Nancy Pelosi's comment was saying this: thank you for your energy. I'm sorry what happened. I'm so sorry. Bitch, you say that to that woman like that? After she lost her child and many others?
Yeah.
This is why you need a border.
I don't understand how anybody in their right mind can consider, first of all, lowering the voting age to fucking where 16. Kids are eating Tide Pods, for one. 2, letting fucking illegals to vote. Like, how? Like, what would give them? Like, you have the court that says, "Oh, illegals are my constituents." No, they fucking not, because they're illegals. That's the whole fucking point.
And the kicker is,
for
2 years we've been hearing, or 3 years almost, about Russian collusion, tampering with the election. You're talking about a foreign people messing with our election, and you turn around in the next breath, you want foreign people voting in our fucking election.
Yep. What the hell? And that's what's happening in like San Francisco. They have freaking IDs and whatnot, and they vote in the local election because they say, "Oh, they live there, they should have the right." No, they fucking don't. They live there because you dumbass fuckers can't kick them out.
Yeah. What if 500,000 Russians got visas to come over here to visit and then voted in our election?
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of that, TR, that actually did happen. We actually invited Soviet people back in the Cold War, and then they were being prosecuted just because they're being Russian people because of the Cold War. Just, there's so much bullshit.
Yeah. And the worst part is Schumer. He's actually from my fucking district.
I feel sorry for you.
You don't even.
I don't know how much y'all been paying attention to. I mean, I pay attention probably more than a lot of people, but a lot of our audience pay attention to all this stuff really good. But I tell you what, if that Dan Crenshaw ever runs for president, I'm voting for that son of a bitch. The guy with the eye patch, the Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah, that guy.
Well, right now, the Democrats, they have a whole fucking circus running for the president. They have Pocahontas, the fucking, the fucking old dude. He probably won't even live that long.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. Now the judge.
The communist socialist.
Fucking
They're all
ridiculous.
a bunch of douchebags.
All they are just want to be, wealthy oligarch people.
Whatever happened to whatever her name is, AOC's whatever happened with that whole thing about the money?
Well,
it's not ahead yet.
Investigation.
Yeah, it's under investigation.
Yeah, her head of freaking fundraising or whatever the hell,
Yeah, that's what we was talking about a little bit earlier. Because the way that PAC was set up, they could still only give like $5,400 or $5,700 to a candidate's campaign. If you're a super PAC, or I think even that PAC, I'm not sure, but anyway, you can campaign for somebody and spend as much money as you want. But if you're working with the candidate or their organization, like, okay, what's, like working with them, even if you don't give them the money, but you're spending $100,000 on a campaign, but you're working with the candidate and their whatever you call it, your committee, whatever, that's illegal. You can't do that.
Well, that's another thing. Everything is too complicated. The whole government became too big, too complicated. You not only have a congresswoman, she's got a whole freaking staff. So it's not only her getting money, it's like another freaking bunch of freeloaders that don't do shit. So, and they're not just getting paid, they get fucking free everything, and so on and so on. It's like way too many of them. There should be, that's why we're going broke, because we paying all these fucking people doing nothing, and most of them are just pissing ourselves anyway.
Well, back in 2000, well, not 2012, but 2011, 2010, when the Ron Paul, his second or third actually, but anyway, that campaign where there was so much advertising and all done, I gave a lot to it and I helped with it a lot, but it had nothing to do with Ron Paul and his people. You know what I mean? It was all, everybody was doing this separate, like any flyers and billboards and signs you put up and all that had nothing to do with his campaign. We did it independently, and you can spend as much money as you want that way. But you couldn't like contact Ron Paul and say, okay, what do you want this flyer to say, and where do you want it sent, and all this stuff. You couldn't do that. But I got a bad taste in my mouth over that fucking election, and it had to do with the fucking media, of course.
Yeah.
I have one question. What the hell is Pop's Quest and KB?
Well, I didn't send Pops a
but
invite because he hardly ever comes on a Tuesday.
No, but he's not trolling in the sidewalk.
Oh yeah. KB's probably cleaning a fucking rifle.
That guy does not clean shit. What are you talking about? I don't even think he owns a cleaning patch.
Well, he's got to be cleaning the Atlas.
I doubt it.
He's cleaning that bitch before every match.
He's gonna have to if he wants it to run. That's another thing too. A lot of guys out there are like, I got 10,000 rounds through this thing, never cleaned it once. Man, that's just a bad idea.
Well, it all depends. Depends on the gun, and if you like shoot it all the time, every week and whatnot, then you know what? Why not? I can see it. But if you shoot it and then stick the gun in safe for next 2 months, that's probably worse for the gun than shooting it for 10,000 rounds in 6 months and not cleaning it.
Yeah. I don't know. Everything's got tolerances, and you start filling that shit with carbon, and you're gonna excessive wear for no apparent reason.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, might as well be correct. If anybody thinks AOC is hot, they need their glasses. Now,
hey, Cora Boy loves her. Come on.
No way.
Oh, he's like, forget it. He's like, you mentioned her name, and he's like,
I wouldn't even mess with her.
Me of a horse.
Yeah.
She's got a face like a donkey.
Yeah, exactly.
What's so great about her? I mean, really, honestly, there's nothing so great about her. She does porn for a living. That's all it is.
She talks.
No, not Stormy. The AOC chick.
A lot.
Say it again, Rick.
Not Stormy. The AOC.
Ah.
Horse on a church.
Well, the AOC, she is somewhat attractive. She's young, energetic, and she's just got she's got money backing her. And but I still don't understand how in the hell her and that Omar got on any kind of fucking committees. They're damn freshman Congress people, but the only reason they put both of them on a committee is because they were getting a lot of TV attention.
Yep. No, they only put them on so they can control them. It's some other congressman or congresswoman kind of took him under the wing to show them the ropes. Yeah, but you ever saw the movie with Eddie Murphy when he made his way into Congress? Holy crap! Right there, that explains everything.
Yep.
Now, if you want to talk to somebody that's attractive, I would say Ivanka Trump. I would say she's attractive.
Yeah.
Hell, I'll even take the first lady. She's my age. What the hell? Hell.
Well, like I said the other day, I mean, it's like she's a beautiful woman, very intelligent, speaks 5 fucking different languages, always looks stunning. Yep. She should be on magazine covers and shit all the time, but just because she's married to Trump, they treat her like she's a fucking bimbo.
Yep.
And it's fucking disgusting. I really think it's disgusting. They made Michelle Obama like, oh, look at her. She's this, she's that. And she's like, no, the fuck she wasn't. I mean, I wasn't going to down her, but she ain't no Melania.
All right, come on. Everybody still questions fucking Bam Bam's wife if she's even a freaking female.
Yeah, I know. And I've seen some pictures that kind of like,
Now, what are you?
I seen that a video of the Prime Minister of New Zealand, because they're in the news with their gun ban and all that, and she was walking down the hallway, and it's like, damn, that's quite a bulge you got there.
What was the guy's name? Shoot, what was his name? What was that actor that was in Russia? What was his name? He's friends with Putin, and he got citizenship there a couple years ago. I'm trying to remember his name.
The French actor.
Let me look his name up. Hold up.
You
Yeah,
talking
somebody
about
big.
the French guy?
No, he's not French. He's American.
Ah, no, because there's a French guy too that moved to Russia because of the taxes.
I think who Warsaw's talking about may even have dual citizenship, but he did it kind of. He make like movies. He makes movies there. I can't remember who it is either. Some action guy. If I ain't mistaken.
Steven Seagal. Steven
Yeah,
Seagal is his name. Yeah, Steven Seagal is a nice American. He's a badass, I would say.
He's an old ass.
Yeah, and a strong badass. He makes good movies, man. I see a lot of his movies on Netflix.
Yeah, especially his early stuff. Those are good.
Von Damme too.
Yeah. You know, and Bald may have more insight on this than me, but since the Iron Curtain come down, I don't understand the hate towards Russia from the United States. Am I missing something? I know there's still a world power and they're like our competition or whatever, but it's not like the Cold War that me and Rick, well, I don't know, I'm older, well, not much older, but a little
I don't think there's hate towards Russia. Actually, back in Slovakia, from like a Facebook post and stuff I've been reading, there's actually a lot of hate against the US and a lot of love back towards Russia, even though we're not getting shit from them. I don't understand it, but a lot of people want like a good old days, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you gotta understand is like Czechoslovakia wasn't like the rest of the communist country. We were us and Yugoslavia. Czechoslovakia was one of the best countries to be actually if you have to live in a commie bloc because we were self-sustained. I mean, 15 million people. We made airplanes, we made tanks, we made weapons, we made agricultural machines. We grew our own food. The only thing we were importing was natural gas and oil from Russia. That was it, you know. And even though we had to use like a calibers and shit that Russia made us, we had our own weapons. We didn't just take their AKs. We had made our own shit. So and all that shit went away because basically once they split the country, the politicians they sold everything out. So right now all the fucking food in my old country they're eating comes from the Western Europe. And it's a lower grade. Somebody put a picture of the same fucking sardines they bought in Italy and they bought in Slovakia. And the one from fucking Slovakia looked like a cat food. And it was the same mark and all that shit. So it's like literally they feeding them garbage and they're charging them more money. So again, our fucking politicians just ruined everything. So I guess that's why people are looking at the good old days, you know. It had the advantages. Because the Iron Curtain also protected us against drugs and all that, so nothing got through. But you had absolutely no freedom. Absolutely no freedom. On the one hand, it like, for example, if you're a school-age kid walking in a town in the middle of the school day and a cop sees you, he's gonna come, hey kid, what the fuck you doing out of school? How come you're not in school? And you did not have a decent excuse. He'll drag your ass back to police station and figure out why the fuck you're not in school. You know, nobody cares about the kids walking around, whatever the fuck they should be in school these days. You go to projects and you got kids 10 years old, like nobody's in school, nobody cares. You know, so certain things were good because some people cared a little more. But the biggest issue is like, what's the saying? Those that exchange liberty for freedom or whatever for
they also don't have it. Yeah.
No, but that was the biggest thing. Like you couldn't open your mouth. You couldn't really say anything. Like you know, my father was a teacher at the technical school, and I was about 10 years old, and he got a letter from U.S. because we had some family that left the country back in the Depression, and like the whole letter was written like anti-communist and all that, and now he wasn't sure what it is, whether it's just made up some kind of provocation, whatever. So he wound up just being all scared, taking the whole thing to cops. It's like, here, you figure it out. I don't have anything to do with it. So, and it's just a damn letter. That's all.
Go ahead, TR.
Oh, I was just going to. Like I said, I just kind of getting back to the Russia thing. I know what it used to be. Not that I was ever there or not, but I mean, as far as them being our enemy, and technically as a superpower, I guess they're still our competition. But
I don't think if you talk to a regular Russian guy, that he's going to be your enemy.
no, I wouldn't think so.
He's an enemy. I mean, again, it might be politicians doing that shit. I met a couple of Russian guys at the shooting competition. We talk, and they pretty much see shit same way I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just all that crap was just politics. Right?
Yeah.
They don't care about that. Everybody just wants to go to work, make money, and be happy.
And
drink some beer, have a sex, whatever, eat once in a while.
I know Two Monkey's kid, he went to he actually took he can speak Russian. He took that was one of his majors, and he was planning on going in military, blah blah blah. Anyway, and he's went there a while back, and spent some time there, and he had a good time or whatever. But the one thing he said is, you don't ask for ice in your drink, and when you order a vodka, it's a whole fucking glass. They drink vodka like water.
Damn.
And they don't chase you down. They usually have something to eat.
And there's like 3 women for every guy.
Yep. And the women are fucking hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who says what. The Russians are the prettiest girls in the world. I don't care who says what.
Oh, well, I've seen evidence of that. I've met some Russian girls, and it's like, holy shit. Yeah.
And
the shit that we got in the 80s where they're all just these short, fat little women, and no.
And Moscow is probably one of the most expensive cities in the world.
Where?
What I was going to say now, what I was going to say is, as far as for like the Russian politics we have right now compared to what we have back then, we've had this war going on in Ukraine for the past 5-6 years now, and it's getting out of hand. And I'm concerned for the people of Ukraine. I wish we could be out there more. We're training our troops out there. But, at the same time, if we get involved with a conflict with the Russian government, and it's just going to lead one thing to another, and it's just going to get bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can't be world class. We gotta stop that shit. Let them figure that crap out. I mean, they've been there for a long time. I talked to a couple of Russian guys. I talked to a couple of Ukrainian guys. Everybody got their own story. So it's like, who are you gonna support?
It's basically 2 brothers just fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we need to be. It's hard to say, but it's just in general. I don't know. I don't understand, and just maybe I'm missing something other than the politics. Other than I think it's just hype, like everything else. If you're watching CNN, is Russia this and Russia that, but it was okay when Obama was talking to Putin. It's like, what the fuck, I don't see Russia as our enemy at the gate. Like they're, holy shit, we're about to go to war. Russia's doing this, and we got, like we did in the 60s and 70s and during the Cold War. I just don't see that we're that at each other's throat enemies anymore.
Yep, absolutely.
Aren't they backing like somebody though, like Syria or something? They're backing one country, and I don't know who it is.
Syria is an ally of
Assad.
Russia.
Yeah, Assad.
That was a whole problem with us being involved in Syria. It's like, what the fuck? You're fucking poking the bear.
So maybe that's the reason for it. I don't know.
Well, it's because we wanted a pipeline going through Syria, and Russia wanted a pipeline going the other way, and that's why we was involved in that. It didn't have a fucking thing to do with anything else. It wasn't. I can't think of his name offhand, but as far as him attacking his people and all that, no, it was ISIS, Al Qaeda, whatever else. There was no rebellion that the people were trying to take over the government. No, it was ISIS and Al Qaeda that we were fucking backing and paying money and supporting. I mean, we could get into a 2-hour chat just about that bullshit, but
no, but no, you're right though. Russia is kind of not an enemy, but at the same time as our friend, you could say it's somewhere in between. Because I remember I was watching a documentary, and this I could be wrong, but I remember actually watching a documentary of 9/11. Putin actually was giving us a warning that something bad was going to happen, and right after that, a couple days later, 9/11 did happen because he knew something was going to happen.
yes.
Everybody knew something was going to happen. They just let it happen. That's my conspiracy theory. They knew it's going to happen, and they just let it. They just let it.
Even if you don't believe in conspiracy theories and all the ins and outs of 9/11, if nothing else, we let it happen.
Absolutely. And
even if it happened exactly like they said, who did it, blah blah blah, we let it happen.
Yep. And at that modern age, how come it had to be a second plane that hit when they actually the second plane and then Pentagon, and after that they grounded all the planes. You would think that something like this would happen, they would immediately go and ground all the fucking aircraft, make sure we got everybody accounted for, And then no, they did it then, and that's when the last plane went down. Nobody knows where and all that. God knows where it was heading. They say for the White House and
there's too much bullshit about 9/11 that just, I mean, it's shutting NORAD down and just all kind of like what no. I believe a little bit some different shit went on.
We're tiptoeing around dirtbags just to be politically correct. And God forbid that we're gonna say something bad just because they're Muslims. I mean, I'm not saying Muslims are bad, but you know what? If they're responsible for 3,000 American lives in 9/11, they should take a fucking responsibility for that as well. And try to convince us, it's not our job to keep convincing everybody else that no, it's not them, it's the radicals and all that.
Well, I seen a video somebody sent me on Facebook Messenger the other day, and it went through a list, and it wasn't everything; it was just the big things, and it covered like fucking 20 years, and it's like, well, Muslims did this bombing, Muslims did this bombing. It just on and on. I mean, it was almost getting boring. It's like, holy shit, yeah, I know they're fucking bad.
Well, there are some good Muslims out there. I do know that. I mean, what was that guy's name? Back in what was it, 2005? Remember the incident of Lone Survivor?
Yeah.
Mohammed Gulab was the one that actually protected him and his safety. Before his team came and pick him up.
Well, I'm a firm believer that Muslim in general, they're not bad people, just like the Christians. I mean, pretty much any shit that comes down because of the religion it can be taken to the extreme. It doesn't matter what religion it is. The only problem is there's way too much extremism from a Muslim.
Way too much. Not all Muslims are terrorists, but almost all terrorists are Muslims.
Yep. I mean, hell, I was down in Maryland helping my nephew with his apartment. The guy showed up to measure for the countertops, and we talk. He goes, "Yeah, I'm from Turkey." He goes, "Oh, you're a Muslim?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm a Muslim." "Oh, cool." So we start talking. Like, do you pray like you're supposed to and all that? He goes, "Yeah. Well, not really every 7 times a day, whatever the hell they're supposed to do it." And all right. Oh, so do you drink? He goes, "Well, I try not to, but on occasion you have a drink and this and that." So it's like, yeah, he's a Muslim, but he's an American, so it's like,
yeah.
But when you got those real Orthodox, those real, what's the word?
Just hardcore.
Yeah. I mean, they take the crap to extreme, and I'm guessing Christians done that too back in a crusade and whatnot. But you don't see that many Christians having a freaking suicide vest on them, and
oh hell no.
And, I know one thing. If I'm on the goddamn plane and I saw a freaking guy all dressed up, no Muslim and whatnot, I'm not letting my fucking eyes on the guy. And if he goes to the fucking bathroom and he's there too long, call the fucking flight attendant.
Yeah, but there are some Muslims that are against the Taliban, Al Qaeda, and ISIS. I mean, a lot of them don't even like those guys out there.
Yeah.
I believe that. It's just like Germans. Not all Germans were fascist.
Oh yeah. There's
But,
even a what was that? There's been a lot of the cases of Germans actually rebelling against the Nazi Party. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Well, extremism on any
was,
side is bad. I don't care if it's right, left, religious, whatever. If you're on the extreme edge of it, it's not good. You know,
Yep.
you gotta be a little bit toward the middle. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, whatever. If you're on the extreme level, you're a radical. Period.
So you're in line.
yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
What I was going to say is, so you're basically in the line of conservatism.
Well, even the right wing. If you're extreme right wing, you're probably not on the right side of everything. If you're at extreme, a true conservative would be more down the middle, or leaning right, but you're supporting conservative ideas of keeping things the same and being just and all that. If you get on the extreme, then you get into your radicals that are like so hatred of the left that they're damn near on the verge of violence. I mean, extreme right or extreme left, right or left. Let me get it right. It's
you're
bad,
right.
no matter which way you are.
Back to you, Bold.
Bottom line is, it doesn't matter what it is: religion, politics, sexual orientation. Don't be pushing your shit on other people. That's it.
Yeah.
You worship, fuck, and do whatever the hell you want. Just keep it to yourself, And if I'm not saying you can't preach your religion, but if I'm not interested, get the fuck off my porch. I got the Jehovah's Witnesses coming to my house every so often. They come, I open the door, I'm polite. It's like, I'm a communist. I'm not interested. They're like, all right, thank you. Thanks for your time. And they leave.
Well, that's a good point.
Don't let me in. I got to teach you how the God works. You have to sign up. You have to do this. No, they come nicely. You tell them, you know what? I'm not interested. Okay. They turn around and leave.
That's why I say, extreme, even on the right side, if you're extreme, then you would want to limit people from doing things that you don't believe in. Either side, like extreme left wants to limit our gun rights. Extreme rights wants to limit whether you can be gay or not, or whatever it is. Well, that's too far. You can't go that far. Either way is bad because you want to limit other people's rights. Because the people on the extreme right want to limit people. Because some people might think they're somewhat super conservative, but that don't mean you're extreme right, or extreme right wing. It just means that you really believe in what you believe in, but that don't necessarily mean, well, I need to take that guy's rights because I don't believe in that. If I'm making any sense.
Yeah, mountaineer marksman. I don't like anyone who doesn't eat bacon.
Well, I think that should be one of the things that to enter the country and apply for a visa, especially if I apply for citizenship, you have to eat a bacon sandwich.
No, you know what? That doesn't bother me. What does bother me when Muslims come to school and demand they're gonna take off pork off menu. You know what? Pack your fucking kids' lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like what's on the menu, pack your fucking lunch. And
pack them some fucking hummus and fucking shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Like you know what? If you don't like what's cooking there, okay, but not the whole crew's not gonna change their ways because of you.
Yep.
Well, that's like they want the Sharia law where they're at.
It's good luck with that.
Fuck you. Go where you want that. Go back.
Yeah. There's a big old fucking sandbox over there. You can do that shit over there all day long.
Hey, mountaineer marksman, I'm not getting tattoo of flag on my chest. I'm too much of a pussy for the tattoos.
The worst spot to get tattooed is actually on your foot, actually, I've heard.
Really?
I don't really care. I'm not, I'm not big on needles.
I can tell you for sure, right here under your arm, that shit hurts. I got barbed wire around my arms right here, and up underneath your arm. I mean, it was like he was doing a tattoo here. It was making this nipple hurt like fuck. I mean, it was through my. It's like, what the hell? The top of the arm wasn't too bad, but when we got under there, holy shit. I needed a bullet to bite on too.
Yeah, TR, you ever seen those crazy world records people do?
Mm-mm.
Well, one of these guys, I saw, it was a while ago, but this guy was like in Germany or somewhere. He had so many tattoos. He even tattooed his privates and all that, and his eyelids and stuff. It was like, oh my goodness.
There's like a 4-year-old kid, and he's like a world's most modified person. I mean, everything. His tongue is split. His eyes are like black. I mean, a whole face. I mean, completely. Like, holy crap.
Even I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
Tattoo head of penis. No, thank you. I think the biggest issue of getting tattoo on a head of your penis is keeping it hard on.
Yeah, with needles. That's gotta be.
Wait, who the hell wants to do that shit?
Yeah, that's just.
That's just wrong in my book.
Yeah.
Somebody had to be on drugs to get that done.
I feel sorry for the guy that had to do that for him.
Yeah, you're like, hold it. I'm not doing it.
It's got to be a gay-ass situation to be in.
All I can say is ouch, like Blues Girl 65 said. I think I can find something better to do.
I like the tattoos. There's a YouTube channel. It's called Crouch Ranch. And the husband and wife, it's like a homesteading kind of thing. And she's hot. She's smoking. Okay. And she's got like a whole left arm and all that tattooed and whatnot. I mean, it looks awesome. You know, I'd never fucking do it. When tattoo's done nicely, I like it. I'm just, like I said, I'm too much of a pussy to actually go for it.
Oh, Mario. Subtitles.
Hey, Mario Mosin. Hola, Jesse.
Hola, señor.
Hey, listen. So when Mario came to this country, right, they caught him on the border, and they said, listen, we're going to let you stay in, but you have to say a sentence in English with the 3 words we'll give you. So he goes, okay. And the 3 words are pink, green, pink, and yellow. And Mario goes, thinks for a second. He goes, the form goes green, green, green. I pinked it up and say yellow.
You already told that stupid ass joke.
Yeah, I know, but you know, I can't help myself. Mario pushes my buttons.
You must have bought a book with the driest, shittiest. The title of it must be the driest jokes or the shittiest jokes. Or
dumbest joke since 1988.
They're so stupid. They're kind of funny.
Mario's right. He says you suck at telling jokes.
I'll work on my accent, Mario. I was actually gonna do a pistol review all in Spanish just for Mario, and do like una pistola. That's about as far as I got so far.
Then we'd really never know what the hell you're saying.
Yeah, I was gonna put the subtitles in Slovak underneath.
Oh, there you go. That would help us, I guess. That sounds like a big waste of video time right there. Well, I'd save the energy and try shooting that little pistol you got better.
Which little pistol? I have a bunch of little pistols.
The Glock. Whatever you did the 25-yard challenge on.
Oh, I did it with the LCP too.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah, why did you buy a Glock, Bald? After you already didn't you already had the 365?
You know what? I was at the store. I was looking at it. I was like, why not?
Oh,
You know,
well, okay, that's reason enough.
There you go. Exactly.
I figured, you know what? I'll try a Glock, and this one's New York legal. I don't have to get like a special max, so it's like, I'll try it.
Now, how many
I
rounds
don't
can
think
you
it's
have
a
in?
bad gun. The 43 or 48, they're awesome guns for the money. I'm just saying they should be $100 cheaper.
It should be about $300.
Yeah, 350, 375 would be like a good price, considering they don't come with shit, no sights, no grip.
Yeah, they've been making them forever. I mean, they should have that production cost down by now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like Glock. They're a good firearm. Don't get me wrong, but I think they are a little bit overpriced, though.
Well,
But you know what? You go in any gun shop, they got a whole fucking countertop committed to Glock because Glock is a household name, and that's what I'm assuming new gun owners and what have you, they go to the Glock because they hear that Glock, Glock, Glock. They know it works, and it does. So they got that. They get the premium price for it, even though it may not be worth as much as they want for them.
well, in the Glock's defense, they put a lot back into the shooting community with the GSSF competitions, and whatnot. They do the blue guns, the law enforcement discounts and all that. So they do a lot. Like I said, it's not a bad gun. It's just there's better guns out there.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first ones, and for some reason they just kept the name, they kept everything right there. They didn't have like for example, SIG, right? The 365, awesome gun, and they'd be selling the shit out of them from the get go if they didn't have the problems from the beginning. If they did their due diligence and they didn't have those two stupid problems.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people they want to see more videos of people shooting 3,000 rounds of no malfunctions and blah blah blah.
Well, the problem is I'm a small channel, okay? I made about $200 last year, so that doesn't pay for 3,000 freaking reloaded rounds. So
yeah, exactly. That's what that's what no one understands.
not to mention to do a video shooting 3,000 rounds. Like, do you really want to watch somebody shoot 3,000 rounds in a row? Even if you speed up, it's still boring as fuck.
And that's
and not to mention, you need 2 or 3 people to shoot, another 2 or 3 people to keep reloading the magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that 100-round SIG 365 mag to come out.
The drum mag.
That's right.
Should make it belt fat.
Hell yeah. That'd be fucking cool.
Now, I hadn't shot one, but I will say when I grabbed Tool Monkeys, it just holding it the way my hand or way my grip is or something, it kind of, which if you put a little trigger time into it, I know it's no problem, but it kind of, to me, just the natural grip that I have, it wanted to point it down.
Yeah, I know. You know why? I'll tell you exactly why. Because you got fucking 50 years of handling Glocks, and the Glock. That's exactly. I went over it in my video when I did a Glock against a 365 because I don't shoot Glocks that much. For me, it's different. When I grab it, it actually points up for me. The Glock.
Really? Okay.
When I naturally grab it, the front side is like ½ inch too high. Like that's natural.
That's like the grip angle.
It's right there because it's the angle. That's the biggest complaint of most of the people on the Glocks. It's an angle. It's not like 1911-ish. It's different.
Yeah. So like the Shield, it naturally points for me, and I can't say a Glock does, but I do pretty decent with them. 1911 is a natural pointer. The CZ75, I think, is a natural pointer.
You know what else is natural pointer? Grand Power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grand Power.
You ever tried a Beretta, TR?
Yeah, I shot a Beretta.
The 92 Beretta?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that new Beretta that's came out? It's the 92X, Beretta 92X.
Yes.
It's getting a lot of popularity over the internet, apparently.
What's so magical?
To me, the Beretta it's a fine weapon. Don't get me wrong, but it's a full-size combat gun. Just a regular. I don't know. The new one's a little slimmer or whatever, but I've had a few friends of mine that have Berettas, and it's just a big gun. I mean, it's a great target gun. It's a great service gun. It's not something I would carry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That thing is heavy as shit. You know, I have the Wilson Combat Edition. I mean, the slides like on ball bearings. I mean, but it's just I bought it because I just wanted to have one. That's all.
Most of the guns I have just because I wanted it.
Hey, Raj, can you send
So apparently the Beretta 92X is it's a competition pistol, is what it is.
Okay. What was you saying, Rick?
Can you send SoCal a link for after we go?
I sent him a link to his email.
Okay.
I already sent it.
On a positive note, we're talking about guns. You know the Hudson H9, the Hudson went bankrupt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you can pay for half the cost now.
No. Well, that went away. But the creditor that actually owns most of the shit, whatever they were doing, the slides and whatnot for Hudson, and supposedly they didn't get any money since 2018, and there's a lot of stock, blah blah blah. Well, they started like a Facebook page or whatever. They're trying to get a feedback from the people if they're willing to buy slides, blah blah blah. So there's a good chance they might actually take over the Hudson and keep producing the parts and whatnot, as long as they have it seems like they have the capabilities, since they were doing most of the work for the Hudson anyway. So that will be cool.
Can they do that though if they don't own the patent?
Well, you know, they own they might not produce the whole gun. They might be just producing the aluminum slides or aluminum frames and parts and whatnot. You know, it could be that. Or, you know what? They might come to Hudson and say, look, you know, sell us a contract. We'll call it, you know, or whatever, become a partner or something. Because it looks to me like biggest issue with the Hudson was the management. You know, they just, you know, because like me, not only I paid MSRP, I paid over MSRP just to get my hands on one because it was so cool as hell. People were willing to pay like $900 for a MOS slide. You know, meantime the whole gun's $1,200. You know, so, and people were willing to pay all that money, so they definitely had a following. And you couldn't find them anywhere, even, you know, they were really hard to find. So,
do you think that gun will be worth a lot of money someday?
No. I'm never gonna get whatever I paid for it. I doubt it, unless they go completely bankrupt and they're gonna be like a forgotten weapons, and maybe 20 years from now it might be worth what I actually paid for it.
How many of those do you think they made?
I don't have a clue. Well, they had to make. I mean, they made a production list on a USPSA, and they made it within first 2-3 months. And the rule is you gotta make 2,000 of them to make a list.
Oh, okay.
Freaking Mario! I gotta learn how to habla español, so he's happy.
I think, well, you know, I don't have any experience with it because what was the max capacity if you wasn't in New York on those guns?
I think it was 15 rounds. 15.
Oh, they did make 15 rounds. Okay.
Yeah. No, it was a double stack magazine.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe that was the reason it didn't catch on.
No, it was
a high price, of course, but
it's a full size steel Striker-fired gun. There's not that many of them there. You know, most of the Striker-fired guns are gonna be polymer.
that had a trigger pull of a 1911, right?
Well, that was another thing. Yeah, it felt it feels in your hands like 1911, and you have a straight trigger pull on it on a striker fired gun. So
yeah. Did I ever shoot it when I was at the farm?
you asking me?
Yeah. Did you bring it down? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember it.
Yeah, bro, I'm pretty sure I did.
I think I shot it then. I can't remember. I shot so much shit out there, I forgot.
So hopefully, they will pick it up and something will happen with that. Because it will be a shame. It's a good design.
Yeah. I like the looks of it for sure.
I mean, something out there,
that HKP7 I got, it's all steel gun. It's striker fired. But
the squeeze cocker.
yeah, the squeeze cocker. Man, that thing's got a lot trigger. It don't measure as light as it feels, but I can understand a striker fired with just a nice little crisp trigger pull.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get my hands on one for the reasonable price.
What's reasonable?
I would like to get one for 1,000 if possible.
Yeah, because I've been looking. They're $1,200 to $1,800. Yeah.
Yep. I
have been thinking about selling mine, but I don't know.
I found one that was like new, 2 max, case, everything, but the guy wanted $1,500, which I was willing to pay, but it was through the arms list. He wouldn't ship through the FFL. He wouldn't take PayPal. It was like too many red flags. I was like, dude, I'm not sending you a freaking money order to some. No, I said, bring it to the FFL. I'll send money order over there, and FFL can ship it. I'll do that, but I'm not. No, I'm not. No, that's too much.
That little shop that my buddy Tool Monkey goes to, he said they had one in there the other day, but it had the original box and all the paperwork, everything with it. They wanted $4,000 for it.
Yeah, I mean they up there. Certain models with all that, they definitely bring the premium.
Yeah.
I think SoCal has one of those that's really sweet.
Yeah. Hell, I was carrying mine every day for a little while till I found out how much the son bitch was worth. And I was like, oh shit, this is a safe queen. Let me put that back in the safe.
Yeah, I was gonna buy one a couple of years ago, and my guy's like, well, just hold on. They come in as a trade-in a lot of times. I'll get you one cheap. It's been fucking 5 years. I'm like, you asshole. I should have bought it back then.
Yeah. For $800.
Oh, they were on the shelf when they were still. I don't know if they still. I don't think they make them anymore. But I remember seeing them on the shelf. They was $1,200-$1,300. But it's that mechanism. It's not so complicated that it's fragile or whatever. But just the way it's made, it's not an easy process. So it was, costly to make. It's a fucking nice gun, though.
I think the German, some of the German police, they still carry them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was made for the police. Yeah. It's considered a full size for them. Now, weight-wise, it's heavy as fuck, but size-wise, it's a small gun.
Yeah, one of those days. Well, thankfully, New York State keeps watch over my wallet. And I got to go through all this lengthy process to purchase a handgun. If I'd be able to just walk in a store and buy one, I'd be freaking divorced, broke, but I would have a lot of handguns.
Yeah, I hear you.
The one I got one of the early ones. It's got the European mag release. And smart enough that when I bought it, I got a couple of extra mags when I thought they were outrageous at the time. I only had to pay $40 a piece for them, but they're probably $150 a piece now if you could find one.
Shit. It's always best to buy it when you get it.
Yeah. Yeah, but
kind of like that $49.99 mag I bought.
Yeah, that's what Brian. Oh well, Tool Monkey. That's what he was talking. He said the mags were $50. He said I bought one.
I bought one. I said that's all I need.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the 2 10-rounders, but when they come out with a 16-round, I might buy one of those too.
For which gun?
The 365.
I bought a couple when we went up in New Hampshire at the Sick Academy, because they have a shit right there. It's a really nice store. I mean, they have most of the Sick product right there in stock. They make that little attachment for the front with a light or with a laser. It was like $100 freaking. I'm like, screw that. You know, it's a tiny light, tiny battery. How long will the freaking light last? And then it won't fit in my holster. I'm like, screw that. I'm not spending.
I know that's the shitty part about buying any of that crap is then you got to figure out where to get a damn holster.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I would have to send it to Harry. He's got to make a new holster.
Yeah.
Yeah, one day when I move out of the state, hopefully.
Someday you'll head south.
I'll be right.
Yeah. When Rick retires.
When I retire?
Yeah, when you retire and you're gonna be like a rich ex-fireman in Carolina, I'm gonna be like your caretaker, you know, for land and whatnot.
Oh yeah, there you go. I'll have you build me a house.
I don't know if you can afford me.
I can't. Old Shammer. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
No idea what
I
that
don't
is.
know. He went rogue. Yeah, he was around years ago.
All right, 11:30. Holy crap! Time flies when you bullshit.
What time is it there?
11:23.
Oh, I thought you said 1:30. I was like, holy fuck.
Well, I said 11:30.
Oh,
Yeah, Blue Girl, love the Carolina.
Mark.
I love the Carolinas too. If I move, I mean north of South Carolina, that'll be my destination because I don't want to go on the West Coast because it makes flying back home. Even though I only fly once in a couple of years, it just makes it so much more difficult.
Well, hell, the whole damn West Coast is, you wouldn't be gaining anything other than sunshine, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. You still got shitty gun laws.
And the Carolinas, you still get the seasons, especially North Carolina, you still get the seasons, you know, because I might get tired just looking at the freaking, like Florida, looking at the being hot all the time, looking at the sun, you know.
That and you gotta think about that bald head of yours too.
There you go. Well, I wear a hat most of the time. So yeah, North Carolina, probably right there with the rednecks, with a rake and X-ring, right there somewhere in the mountains. That's where I would like to go.
Yeah, we get mostly 4 seasons. Sometimes spring and fall kind of blows by pretty fast or skips, but wintertime's really only about a solid 3 months, maybe. It seems a lot longer, but it gets cold at the end of October, and by March it's warming up. Well, it's already warming up now. So, yeah.
Well, it's not just that. You don't get the cold like we do. I mean, winter realistically only lasts about 3 months here as well. But the freaking fall could be cold as hell as sometimes, and the spring. So, you know, I mean, we had snowstorms in freaking April. And I'm talking like wake up April Fool's Day and you have 2 feet of snow outside. Like, what the hell? You know?
Well, see, 2 feet of snow is almost never happens here.
So
we get snow every once in a while, but not 2 feet.
Yeah, and once you get that snow, everything kind of gets more complicated, especially when you're a builder. Then you gotta deal with the freaking plowing, getting it ready, cleaning it, just pain in the butt. Big boy Lee. In Russia, we wash our balls with ice water. Well, I had a buddy. He was a truck driver, and his truck froze in Moscow. It froze overnight. Okay, so he went to the garage and he's like banging on the door, get some of the Russians to come and help him, and he's like wearing three different clothes and like freaking his teeth are chattering. The guy comes out in the freaking sweatshirt. He goes, "What do you need?" So this goes back like 25 years. What they did is they literally poured some gas underneath the freaking truck and lit it on fire just to warm the truck up to get it started.
Nuts.
Warsaw. No, in Slovakia it doesn't snow a lot. Slovakia is just about the same as New York. It's same what is it, longitude, latitude, whatever the hell it's same. It's pretty much the same thing. The only thing we don't get in Slovakia is we don't get the humidity in the summer. Since we're far away from the ocean, we do get especially where I'm from, we get a lot of sun. We just don't get the humidity. It's just hot. Feels like Arizona, dry heat.
Well, you get humidity. Well, maybe not as much in North Carolina, but probably close.
Some days.
I mean, well, like me and Rick, we only live like 20 minutes from each other. He lives in North Carolina. I live in South Carolina. So,
does the South Carolina honors North Carolina concealed carry and vice versa?
yes, we honor each other's.
Yeah.
And in North Carolina, you can open carry.
Yeah.
I know that North Carolina honors New York. South Carolina doesn't. Don't you have a town? Isn't there a town that border goes like through half the town?
Probably. I don't know.
I know there's I was watching something on some TV channel once, and there's a house that they try to figure out who's gonna have to pay the state taxes and shit. And like the front entrance is in North Carolina, I believe, and the south, the south part of the house is in South Carolina, and the whole thing's, and there's some laws about drinking or something, and I don't know, it's fucking crazy. But that was a big whoops on their part.
So if your back entrance is to North Carolina and front is to South Carolina, you gotta pay North Carolina taxes. You can say that you got ass raped by fucking South Carolina.
I remember watching that on some.
So TR, I got a question. Would you like to be in a hot desert or in a cold environment? Because both of them are kind of at the same time.
I hate cold weather.
I hate hot weather.
Well, it depends.
I can handle the heat. I mean, I don't mean I won't bitch about it if it's really, really hot, but I hate wintertime.
Well, for me, it depends what kind of desert. Like, if it's like a Las Vegas, hell, I'll take that desert.
We're talking like the Sahara Desert.
Oh, screw that.
The day I left Saudi Arabia, it was 125 fucking degrees on the thermometer, not heat index, on the fucking thermometer. It was 125 fucking degrees. That was fucking hot.
Yeah, when it's cold, you can turn the heat up, you can layer up and whatnot. When it's fucking hot, there's only so much shit you can take off.
Yeah, you can only get naked.
And that was in May. Hell, they hadn't even got summertime yet. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to be somewhere where you can't find your car because there's 10 feet of snow and shit either.
Like Siberia?
Yeah, like where the hell did I park my fucking car at?
Speaking of that, what was it?
TRprepper.
What was that? What was that? Oh yeah, driving in Russia. You ever seen those videos? Those car accidents they always have in there.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous what they do.
It's like the Wild West kind of.
They found a family in Siberia that they had like no human contact since like 1940 something. Like they're like whatever the hell, they all the way secluded, and that's how they lived. Just lived off the land.
In Russia,
Yeah.
can't drive you.
If you don't know any better.
Hey, Big Bobby Lee, that's too much information.
About his privates.
Yeah, we did not need to know that.
Hey, you guys check out TRprepper's video he just did. It's in Peru. It's really cool.
Well, check it out. I hadn't seen it yet. I've been working the last few days.
Yeah, he's got drone footage of all the cool shit and driving around. And hell, he's got a video of it's not a camel, it's an alpaca that the car in front of him, it's on his roof, sitting on his roof like stored luggage. There's this big alpaca just sitting on the top of the car like a goddamn suitcase. It's fucking awesome. Good stuff.
All right, I guess we ran out of shit to talk about.
I was going to bring up the topic of Missouri. Did you hear about the law that they say, hey, we're not going to support any more federal gun laws or any of this bullshit?
Yep. I don't know if the governor signed it yet or not, or I know it went through their state senate. I think it passed something, but I don't know if it's actual law yet or not.
Yeah, but at least it's something in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully more states will follow that.
I mean, in it was actually, they would actually arrest federal agents if they tried to enforce a federal gun law. I mean, it went that far.
I know that my sheriff doesn't enforce the actual SAFE Act unless they have to. Like, let's say they arrest a gangbanger, okay, with a legal gun and whatnot, whatever. Then they'll take on every stupid crap there is, okay. But if you get pulled over and God forbid they will find, for example, standard capacity magazine or something, then they'll probably just take it and tell you, forget about it or something, or some stuff like that. They kind of turn a blind eye to certain things.
Yeah, I got you.
Unofficial.
Isn't Missouri the one also that you're supposed to have to have an AR-15? Or was that a different state?
It might, whatever that was. I think it was just a city or a county.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it could have been in Missouri. I don't know. But Montana's kind of circumvented the federal law. You can I think it's Montana. You can buy a full auto rifle in Montana without a federal firearms tag, license, or whatever. As long as it's made there, and as long as you never leave the state with it.
Huh.
Well, isn't that part of the NFA contract?
That's the suppressors, right?
Well, what it is they're circumventing the interstate commerce laws. As long as something don't involve the interstate commerce, that's where the federal government gets involved. Like a state can do things that the federal government deems illegal, but as long as it don't cross their border, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
That makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Because I know we had the machine gun ban back in the 80s, and it was a bill basically saying, before the machine gun ban was placed, anything before that year you can keep.
Yeah. I mean, you can still go through the process and get a full auto, but holy shit, they cost so damn much. It's got to be made before 1986, and that's what drove the price up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Montana. You can, if you manufactured a full auto or converted something to full auto, as long as it's yours and you don't transfer it or try to get out of state with it, you're legal.
Nice.
Isn't Montana the same place you can have your own suppressors? You just can't take them out of state.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it falls in the same category as long as it don't cross the border. and fall into interstate commerce laws,
You're good to go.
you good to go. Every state could do that if they wanted to. I know a few years ago they was trying to get a light bulb company to make light bulbs in South Carolina. You know, because they're phasing out incandescent light bulbs. It didn't go nowhere, but that's how they was going to do it. It's like, well, as long as we don't export the light bulbs out of state, you can make 100-watt light bulbs here all you want, and the people of South Carolina could buy them. As long as we don't cross the border, we're not getting into interstate commerce, which involves the federal government. We can do whatever the fuck we want. A lot of people don't know that, but that's the way it works.
I like it. Let's do it.
And really, even if there's a lot of things that the federal government, as far as the laws they pass, in order to get states to comply with it, what they do is they just hold back federal funding. You know, it's not that they can make a state enforce a federal law. What they do is like, we're going to hold back. Just say, a couple examples: lowering the age of drinking. Raising the age of drinking to 21. Back, of course, that's gone away now. But back when they passed highways can only be 55 miles an hour or less. All that was only enforced through threatening to withhold federal funding for roads and welfare and everything else. And so the states comply so they get the federal funding. Because they could have said, oh, fuck you, you ain't going to do it. And then the federal government will hold back their money. But I think the states need to do that. It's like, okay, well, therefore, if you're going to hold back our federal funding, we're not going to withhold federal income taxes from our people. And we'll increase our state taxes and we'll take care of ourselves. That's what the states need to do.
Well, I think there's a whole thing of the union and whatnot. I don't know if they can.
Well, they ain't got unions in South Carolina. Fuck that.
U.S. union. Because there's a whole thing with weed, right? Like Colorado weed is legal, right? And I was talking to this guy we shoot with quite often, and he's a DEA or some shit like that. And that's exactly what he said. There's like a whole question about the actual tax, like who keeps it, whatever, since it's illegal. So it's like all that crap might backfire at some point, but who knows?
I totally disagree with that because Colorado, I got friends in Colorado, and I think the state is going to go taxless, basically because they get enough money via the medical marijuana, or it's not even medical, it's just smoke it if you got it. They get enough money allocated from that tax to basically get rid of all the normal state tax.
Hey, listen, if you ask me, all right, we see how well we did with the war on drugs, okay? Let everybody fucking smoke whatever the fuck they want. Let them fucking smoke themselves with needle, whatever the hell. But if you OD, fuck you. There's no like, there's going to be no medical attention to you. That's it. If you want to do that shit, do whatever the hell you want. End of story. You're gonna worry about the bridge, and you're gonna be less of a burden to society. Because right now people are doing drugs anyway, and now you have a state-sponsored rehabs and this and that, and those people are not working; they're costing us money. And I'm pretty sure that it's like an underage drinking. If they would have lowered it down to 18, there probably wouldn't be so many people drinking because it's not a forbidden fruit anymore. And yet we are spending all this money for the war on drugs. We're fighting them overseas, over in the other countries. We're fighting it here. And the results are what? The only result we got, we hold, what's his name? The Mexican cartel guy money that can pay for the freaking wall. And yet.
El Chapo.
Yeah.
But getting back to what I was saying, I mean, states could, if people don't realize it, and I guess the politicians don't realize it, and the state don't realize it, if the threat of cutting off federal money, all they got to do is say fine, and all these, we'll cut everybody's federal income tax in half, add that to the state tax, and fuck you, we'll build our own roads, and we'll do this, and we'll do that, and it would probably be a surplus at the end of it, because the federal government wastes so much of our money. If that money, you cut it in half and actually used it half-assed efficiently, you would still be doing better.
Well, isn't it like we didn't pay any taxes till like what, 1940s or something? That's when it
20s and 30s when it came up with the Federal Reserve.
So I mean, definitely the tax money are not spent well. Okay, and I get it that Trump, he might not be like a best speaker in the world, but the fucking guy's a businessman. So and I kept saying that we need somebody to run this country as a business. We should be back where we were, producing, having money, not borrowing it from China. Right out loud.
Yeah. And that's why the economies took off. Cut the regulations, quit stifling fucking businesses. And I'm sure there's a lot of vast improvements could be done still. But just what little bit he done, it gave incentive to companies to reinvest and hire and expand and all that. I mean, it's obvious as fuck. I mean, if you fucking chokehold a damn business, they're not going to grow.
It's like what they say that you got certain companies that don't pay taxes, right? But you gotta look at it this way: if it's a big corporation, okay? So basically, every corporation, what they try to do at the end of the year, there's no money left in the account. So it means the corporation itself did not make any money, but the CEO of the corporation made money. The other CEO, the board members, the employees, and all these other people made money, and all these people paid taxes. So you can't say that the corporation did not pay taxes. On the other hand, those people pay taxes at a different rate that the corporation would anyway, so it's probably better. I mean, I'm not a tax lawyer, but my corporation, that's pretty much the way it's done. I mean, come December 31st, there's virtually no money left in the account, and all the money went and we paid out. So the
employee they have, the income taxes they paid, the company matched. So the company paid federal fucking taxes, a fucking buttload. So I mean, I get that. I think that's fine. And just a little tidbit, I know we're going to sign off here in just a second, but now I don't know for any other state, but my dad owned a bar, and to go private, he ended up going to a private bar. His bar is private. You have to register as a nonprofit organization, or a corporation. So he had to make a corporation for his bar to be private. So at the time, to sell beer and liquor on Sunday, you had to be private. So his bar was private, a non-profit organization. Now, just like you said, the president could make $1 million, the treasurer, the whatever, everybody could make all the money they wanted or could. The company made nothing.
Exactly. Just because it's a non-profit organization, it doesn't mean people working there are not making money.
Yeah.
Well,
that was something we found interesting. But anyway.
Rick, you need to quit smoking.
Yes, I do.
You got to get your ass on Chantix. I did it. You can do it too.
So if you're ever in South Carolina and you go to a private strip club, it's a non-profit organization or corporation.
That's good to know.
The girls make all the money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do anyway.
Yes.
Or the mafia. There's one I used to go to. Turned out the mafia owns it.
They probably own them all.
You probably do.
Oh, come on. There's no such thing as mafia.
They probably own the casinos. And he probably owned the casinos as well.
Yeah.
No such thing as mafia. Come on, that's a myth.
Yeah, it's myth.
Yet I'm building houses, leaving the tools and shit. Like my sister-in-law comes over, and I have $2,000 worth of freaking tools, well, maybe more, in a house, just laying all over the place. She's like, and nobody gonna steal this shit? I'm like, hell, half the town knows I'm shooting. The other half thinks I'm a Russian mafia. So no.
Yeah, you just have to
I mean,
throw
you
that
seen
out
the
there. and walk
Goodfellas?
like, well, you know, back when I was in the KGB.
Exactly. And once in a while, when I clean my
Yeah, but
gun,
Paul-
I do it outside my house so everybody can see. You know, that's like in a trailer park. You invite your friends and you have a gun cleaning party.
Yeah, but Bald, you've seen the movie The Goodfellas, haven't you?
Yeah.
That shit actually did happen, though. They actually got buried alive in the end. It's an unpleasant way to go.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It's getting kind of late. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about right quick? Or announce or anything?
I think we reached the limit.
Yeah, okay. We definitely covered a vast array of subjects. So, all right, anybody want to do an outro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Rick?
Stay safe, everybody. Check your damn smoke.
Guys, you have a good night, and guys have a good night.
Okay, everybody, we're going to sign out, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Later, everybody.